Good morning, everyone. So more economic news, a little bit hotter inflation. For the most part, market doesn't care. Maybe it shouldn't. You know, bullish move up, seasonal time coming bullishly. They'll deal with it when they deal with it. We'll see if it gets any more interesting as far as that goes in the future. So nothing's happening the whole week. Um, Continues to so far just choppy, bullish, sideways price action in the futures here. Um, but maybe they pull back to minus support. That isn't happening. On the news, there was a little downward move here. We'll see where that might go. Um, Lots of pivot lows there. So on a short-term basis, yesterday's low is a significant support for today anyway. If it breaks that, likely to get a little more downside. We'll see what happens. Uh, you just got to, same as yesterday, a trading range. Sleepy markets, bullish expectations. Um, yeah, sentiment at an extreme. So again, bullish expectations, expecting it to go higher. Breath is stinky. Let's just put it that way. So they're not aligned. That's somewhat of a positive. But we've got, semiconductors and other big caps not moving. So the breadth is what it is, and everything is correcting. So don't read too much into it. And, the sentiment can stay up there, and it would come down if this breaks a little bit, of course. So short term, everything still looks okay. Nothing much moving. And we wait. Same thing. NASDAQ, a little more sloping there. They're still buying the dip. So expectations, it's going to go higher. Nothing much more to say about it. So we'll just wait to see if it comes down or just chops sideways here. What going to do? Every same thing, day to day. Looking, the Dow continues to hold up. Everything's pretty much acting in a similar way. This is correcting a little bit more. We had this little breakout failure, so maybe we get a little more downside action, which would be fine. We actually want that. Things to pull back to some area of support or build a new area of support to set up longs. So that's the bias until proven otherwise. Excuse me. Um, Other markets looking for confirmation of bullish price action. It's there in the transports. It continues to hold up. Um, we'll see if at some point it comes in a little bit or whether it's just going to go sideways. Um, News is out of the way. Markets obviously don't care right now. Uh, Dow. All right. So talked about gold yesterday coming down to this support area. It's entered it. It's come down pretty fast and hard. So this is would normally take 2, 3 days ideally to make a turn, but let's take a look at it, be aware of it anyway, and see if it begins to stabilize in this area, which it probably does, which on gold stocks, if we get a turn, intraday trades, put spreads. So ideas to keep an eye on, going into probably the beginning of next week to look for some kind of stabilization. So with that in mind, the dollar has been ripping higher, and it's a little bit higher this morning. So it gaps because of the overnight. But as always, we're looking to the left to look for confirmation of this intermarket relationship. And so um, it's not quite at those pivot highs yet, but it's close enough to start watching. And so that was the point of today's intro slide as to the gold entering support. Look for the dollar if it begins to make a turn. Um, it's not yet. You can see, you know, other currencies collapsing. The euro's down on support. Um, I mean, a little early buying here in anticipation of that making a turn. So you can keep an eye on it, of course. Uh, the pound coming into some support. So with the dollar short term extended, gold should make some kind of a turn down there. I don't expect anything of significance, till probably next week, but better to be aware. Bitcoin continues a little higher, got a little rejection yesterday. So far, not a big deal on a closing basis. You can see that the momentum slowed the last 3 days. Momentum slowed, but the closes are close to the same area. And there was, some cracks in the armor, maybe a little bit more than a crack. Um, you know, coin came down pretty hard. If it comes into that gap fill, probably, well, looks like it's up a little bit this morning, but it was coming down into this area here, probably begins to make a turn. Um, ETFs. Oh, let's look at spiders and SPX, which, it's not unchanged, really not moving much. Again, minor support. I do not expect it to fill this gap in the near term because it shouldn't. It's an igniting gap, from here. So far, it's just consolidating. You know, 6 months ago or what have you, today's news probably would have sent equities lower, and they're not. So again, more confirmation of that previous bullish price action. And SPX, nothing was touched yesterday because nothing moved. So things got a little tighter today, and you know, it's unlikely to go up now that the news is out. A little bit of a bearish reaction. Obviously, that's closer. Um, you got unfilled gap down here, so unlikely it's going to do anything. SMHs. We covered this during the week. It's getting close to this major support and the rising 50 MA, a little bit of a trading range sloppy going on there. That's up a little this morning. So some early buying in semiconductors. It's not an attractive pattern, but things begin to make turns in these areas. So let's be aware of it and see if it actually can begin to do that. Regional banks, everything's just chopping around here. Um, so little um, the price action is the same pretty much across the board as to what's going on. The market is consolidating its gains here. Oh, financials still look the same, bigger things. So it's kind of boring, as far as reporting what's going on because nothing's going on. So we await for some kind of corrective price action. And you can look at bond prices. They're not quite down to support yet, but they're stabilizing here. So interest rates very interesting as bonds coming down, interest rates going up. There's been a disconnect between that and equities. So far interesting, and we'll see how this unfolds going into the end of the year. Crude oil, we looked at. I drew you this beautiful little head and shoulders pattern there. We'll see if that actually follows through. A little stabilization here this morning. Maybe some put spreads on some energy stocks, Dan. So there's a stabilization. one day to expiration, and the big interest is whether this actually breaks these lows, maybe next week. Um, right now, they're just grinding up a little bit since people just trading off of support and resistance, kind of like just ping pong kind of trades. Um, you can see the little downside shakeout and continues to push up. It's got a little bit more room to move higher before it hits at least minor resistance. Uh, Retailing. There's been some money moving to that lately, but things are stalled. Trading range is one of the things. You see, I got my alerts there to see if it actually maybe breaks out and we see some movement into some of these underperformers. This has done nothing all year other than just whip around back and forth in a sloppy range. So we'll see. I'll just move this up just to be aware if it comes into this gap. See what happens there. Money has been moving. Where's the software? XLS? XSW? You know, maybe that looks like that has made a turn on a short-term basis. So you can look to the left. It's up near that pivot high there. So a view of some software stocks that are likely to be extended and make a turn, maybe some zero DTEs for there, Dan, in the software. We can scan TC2000 and see if we find some extended software names that will come down a little bit. So looking for turns which lend themselves to credit spreads and short-term intraday directionals as things make turns. And ideally, we get a little bit more correction, so we get many more swing trades, alignment with what happens after the election. Kind of short there, explanation, but there's nothing much is going on. So as it unfolds, well, I'll have more to say about it. So all yours, Dan. Yeah, Alex is sharing this one, so absolutely. Maybe that breaking the lows. So looking at what's happening intraday, you can find your spot.
Uh, all right, 1 second. This guy left my door open. All right, good morning. Yeah, tomorrow's Friday, so I love doing 1 DTE and zero, of course. I mean, it's still a beast here. It's a buy on a pullback. Looks like that's all-time high as well. Oh, all right, Alex has to go Intel. Yeah, I like them. It's a buy setup. Got your pullback. Got a 180 reversal. You got bullish weekly. So yeah, looks good. My FXI alarm went off. I was watching this yesterday also. So here's my pre-market from yesterday. And I said, if it gives up this gap, that's a long way to fall here after this Bear Island reversal. I'm going to set a new alarm at 30. There's a number of Chinese earnings today, which is dragging that down. I just saw Schwab exploding here. and it's not earnings. Um, I just looked at some of these ARC ladies. Look at this breakout on the monthly ARC K. And, I'm assuming it's because of the Bitcoin run or whatever. I'm not sure what's under the hood. Tapestry is falling off, the merger, or maybe the government's calling it off. I don't know. With Capri. Wow, this was the first announcement. This could have been a potential double bottom, but there's no potent turn yet. And now with the gap down, that stock's in trouble. SPX, I posted long, little bull flag here, 180 closing breakout. Walmart, kind of an ascending triangle here over yesterday's high, has earnings next week. Maybe we get a pre-earnings move. ASML was not earnings, but I think they came out and gave some guidance. Let's say this is a great pattern. It's in a nasty downtrend, but it's down so much and it's stabilized. So hypothetically, if somebody in the green room asked me, hey, Dan, what about shorting yesterday's low? I would say this is a pattern you have to be careful for breakdown failure. Just because it's down so much, you got to climb on the weekly. So now it's gapping up here. So I gave that as a put spread idea. What else? Zeta, I just saw going by the ticker. I did not look at this the last 2 days, but look at the size of this bar on volume. So 30-minute high. I'll look to do a 1 DTE put spread. Don, I mentioned to you, we missed this thing yesterday. Look at that volume and igniting bar. This is one of those quantum computing stocks, I think. SMR, all-time highs, going sideways, resting. So that's a long watch. Maybe put spread too. And sit on those. Let me go to earnings now. Cisco was down, now pretty flat. Strong uptrend, but nothing to do. Sono bullish, yeah. Need a pullback though. 44.50 bearish gap, but no pattern. Sorrow, no prints. This is the one I said recent IPO. Let me set an alarm at $30. Surprise, there's no prints. Oh, yeah, those the quantum stocks. Rig T. Yeah, it trades violently. QEPT. Yep. That was the day for those. You're right. And in extended, gapping up. If we get a bear 1, 2, 3. Well, it's not a bear 1, 2, 3 because it's yeah. If it stays below 1405, then it could possibly be a 1, 2, 3. But the deeper it goes into this bar, it doesn't mean it's not bearish, but it's just not a 1, 2, 3. Hewlett Packard, gapping down, $34. No pattern though, but that's an ugly gap. Starbucks. What's your thinking there, Alex? We're in it. We are in it. Okay, so my point is, it's sloppy. It's sloppy, but it is. I would prefer a 1, 2, 3 before taking a new position. We got in it. What's today? Thursday. On Monday, went against us. We moved the stock 30-minute low, and it held. H row, nasty gap, but pretty big. Bravo Victor, no prints, $60. Big old ugly gap, and it's not bouncing. You know, ideally it goes lower, somewhere 50, 55. Let it get deeper into support. Click, no pattern. Sierra Bravo. I don't see any prints. This is what I said, if it opened flat, you could buy the high, target 50 MA. DG 34 and change. That's a bullish gap. That's a walk along on a pullback. Gap and down, bearish gap, call spread candidate. Gapping under these two bars after a topping tail. Beautiful pattern for call spread if the juice is there. MLR, I don't see any prints, but ugly pattern. These are top of the range. Top of the range here. So this would be a long watch. Easy. If we get a controlled 15-minute pullback. All right, I have AAP in the other computer, so I don't need it here. Here's AAP right here. So this was a $2 wide put spread we did into earnings, big old bottoming pattern. We shorted the 34, 32. It went from negative to positive, so I said, let's move stop. I think there's a big W bar and let it expire at full profit. But if you want zero risk of assignment risk, try to close the short put at a penny. The bullish gap and a downtrend, but it's a mess. Nomad, ZK27. You know, bearish gap, but nothing to do. We'll come back. TLN gapping up, but bullish weekly. Look at the weekly. Wow, look at that monthly. You see how different time frames give you such a different view? The sun went from $55 to 210, 220. I don't have a bias, so I'll leave it there though. I'm curious of what it does. A nice 183 bearish gap, beautiful call spread if there's any juice. I doubt it, being so far away. NT is gapping over this little island. So this is a bull island reversal. I am going to put this in a window on my other computer for a put spread. That looks great. JB, is a short idea. Big old void down here. Yeah, they're still working on nice construction. I can't do anything about it. All right, JD short, Baba put spread. I'm taking these out. Bravo November. We looked at. Where did I leave off? Lunar. Strong, but no entry. Well, that's actually an excessive gap. SMT 740. Come on, data. Waiting for data. This one bullish. This could go. It's a sloppy buy setup, but look, it's gapping over two red bars, and it's a breakout on the weekly. EWCZ, I'll watch. CINT gapping over red bar. I'll watch this one. Oh, done. This QBTS has had earnings, but look at weekly, monthly. They have room. Done. We gotta get back on this thing. Down all three of these. Well, no kidding. No kidding, Sherlock. But I said, let's start monitoring them for an entry. All right, Azul, 281, bullish gap, but no void. And those are all my earnings. Let's see what the fangs are up to. We've got 2 more minutes here. It broke out, opening flat, 50% retracement, 30-minute high. That could be a 1 DTE put spread and a day trade long. Amazon had a beast of a day yesterday. It's now filling the gap, so it gave up the morning strength. Meta is down. I think I heard that's a great cloud spread idea now. Let's watch this for 1 DTE. 588 or higher. That looks great. They, I think, got fined by the EU or something. They were in the news. But this could be, let's watch a little bounce for a day trade short and call spread idea. Next up, Google. Call spread idea. If you can get over these highs. Little breakout failure there, 180 reversal. Netflix holding strong but extended, so I got nothing for me. Tesla. We were talking about shorting a 3. Do you remember? It was a 380 naked call yesterday. It was like $1.05, I think, something like that. So it would have worked fantastic. I'll bet it's already at 50% of max profit, if not more. So it's still 30-minute low. It's another call spread idea for tomorrow. All right, I don't have a single alarm going off here at the open. Now, trading China by definition is higher risk because of the gap risk. But this is a nice day trade short. I would wait for it to crack 30 based on this pre-market support. But that's a nice day trade pattern. I don't trade in the first 5 minutes, so maybe 5, 10, 15-minute low. That's there are cues popping here a little. Apple, Microsoft popping. Apple is, now see, for a day trade, Apple just rallied to this congestion, whereas Microsoft has a void. You want to see how clear that is? That this would be a superior day trade or scalp over Apple, just based on that 15-minute chart right there. Oh, Intel. Yeah, I like Intel. Yeah, it's not a core to me because that monthly is not a core at all. But for a trade, sure. Check puts myself. All right, so $24 put for tomorrow is 5 cents. They closed at 10 cents, so they got cut in half. Let me check next week. 24s are 25 cents. Nothing wrong with that. So 24s. 22. 24. 22.5 is 17. So that's what I'm going to do. All right, Phil. But yeah, I like the long two. Look at the Zeta tanking bottom right. Our B's are here. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That's a big gap. It was 34.50. Remember pre-market, I said top of the range. Let's look for a controlled pullback. So the gap and go messed it up. Nothing I can do about it. Just curious. Does anybody know the news on Zeta? Why is that getting its head chopped off? At this our AAP, the spread, so you can't even get out at a penny if you wanted to. It's a penny by a dime. ACN. Ah, yeah, nice. That was the trade you and Greg were doing. All right, this ASML. That's an igniting gap from a bottoming pattern. Let me check the juice bar. I said 660, 655 for next week. 660, 655, 42 cents. All right, so we're nowhere near. All right, I actually did close my AAP. I was bidding a penny and I just got out. Um, it's a judgment call, just like that Disney. But since I did it, I'll go ahead.
FTNT. Day trade short watch extended software. No premiums for doing call spreads there.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time hearing you. FTMT. Turn the volume up. But I got construction going on too. TNT. Yeah, it's a climb. The 101s are 0 by 20. The hundreds, 1 penny by 11. That is ridiculously low premium. You go out the next week, and it's too spreading, 84 by 150. Cream. Don, I bid a penny and got filled. So that's what I'm saying. I got filled, I'm out. So you don't, the midpoint, many times the midpoint is ridiculous, right? Because it's not realistic when they're too big. Yeah, but it's also FT. It's also earnings. Earnings make it spready by definition. All right, so I'm out of AAP. Nice doing business with you. Cream, I would do a 1 BTE call spread. Apple, Microsoft still moving. Netflix, even though the Qs have stalled. Netflix, nothing. All right, the 350s. 15 cents by 46. So nothing there. All right, what was I about to look at? Yeah. The 5-minute horsemen are not in a good mood right here. So I would be careful on new loans. All right, Starbucks. Yeah, I would love for it to close like this now, Alex. Then theirs would be the 1, 2, 3. I'm actually short the $100 puts that are against me, so I surely want it to go up too. Right. JD, I said short. That was my favorite Chinese short right there. And NTs, I said put spread. I didn't check juice bar. NTs. That's an igniting gap. Bull Island. Look at the daily weekly. NT. How low can we go? Look at the honest company. Sam, do you know who owns this company? I'll give you a hint. My girlfriend. But yeah, Zoom. Yeah, Zoom. We could do a call spread now. No, wrong. Jessica Alba. FXI, low alarm. Greg, any interest?
And what, Dan?
FXI short, China. My 30 alarm went off, so I know what it looks like.
I'm not interested in training anything China. Any gaps and
Are you racist? But
opinion.
88 calls on, oh, I'm looking at the wrong one. Let's Zoom. Um, yeah, Antique Cities 230. Zoom. I know, but I said even day trade is fine for FXI. There's no premium on Zoom. The 88's for next week or 35 cents naked. So yeah, Alex, you could, yeah, you got to short the stock. Bitcoin falling, JD tanking, a D line pulling back hard from a plus 1,000. Google slammed to a new low. Things are um, very iffy here. Look at IBM tanking. Uh, uh, Synops. This is a failed buy setup with a void. Synops could be a call spread. Disney's, oh, Disney. Yeah, I said maybe a call spread, but that's still holding like a tank. So no interest.
Take DBX off of the alert list. I don't know if was that an official, Dan? That triggered a 1, 2, 3.
No, it was on my list and I did not trigger it. No, I think I was waiting for tomorrow over today's high. All right, until stop 23.98. JD, that was a sweet pattern right there. But it's fell too fast. Oh, Bob is another one on my list. There's another one that got their voids. I mean, JD has a bigger void, but this one's weaker because it's closer to support. This thing gave it up ugly. This was on my EWCZ European Wax Center. Sam, are you ready for a question? Can you tell me, in your experience, what type of waxing that this company specializes in? Yeah, well, my answer was going to be European. It was not a trick question. Why? What were you thinking? Something dirty, Alex? Because of the word European in front of it? Remember this Mod G I was watching short yesterday? Remember, Craig? Look at this. We were talking about 30-minute low. I had a nice little tankage. I'm just going through some old alerts on my big computer here. Alex, your P4. It's a deeper trace on it. Easy in. Yeah. AstraZeneca. Okay, see, I like it better now than yesterday. So let me set an alarm at 65:55. And you said okay. It's strong. I would, it's, when they go up in such a controlled bullish manner, for me, once you get an entry, which hasn't happened, I would only do a call spread or day trade. I personally, it's not developed enough for me to want to short that pattern. Ah, shoot, or CVX. Shoot, the gap. All right, I'm not going to chase because now I'm not sure the reward to risk. Shoot. Black. Let's cancel black. It was over yesterday's high. You know what? I don't like, well, Walmart's over the high, but I don't like today's action with the market coming in. I'm going to cancel this too. So going into chill mode here on these swings. STT. See, we're in this long and it's on borrowed time. All right, this Just pennies away from the stop. CCJ 52 calls is on probation. SEG, we're in trail mode. 231.52. eBay, we're short. That's, don't like these bottoming tails here. So you can, either kill it, kill half, let it play out. Hey, our LUV doing better. Stop 3104, 3187. And that's it. We got very, very light in.